you know, we've been up a long time, haven't we?
Yeah.
Guy, you know, it's like.
Session today for the novice group. Thank you.
Bleeding horrible, mate. beautiful day. Thank you so much for coming.
The wheels aren't turning.
It's very hard to find in there, isn't it? It was in there this morning when I put it.
Show us your hands.
Mr. Bilberry.
You know the little one of the clubs you get with the talc inside? Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, mate, that last session we was on, that was great.
A little bit uncomfortable with it. Would that be fair to say? Yeah, okay. The reason for that is very, very simple. Pretty much everybody that I've seen out there today, at some point or other during the turn, is too tense on the bike. Far too tense. Which we can see, I've seen some riders coming into the turn, they'll be nice and relaxed as they turn the bike in. They'll turn the bike in like this, and you see them go like this. When the arms get straighter, the bum hole opens more. So the key to riding smoothly and riding well in these sort of conditions, and this applies to the road as well as on the track, is rider input or relaxation. You need to let the bike do what it needs to do to get through that turn. Okay? So if the bike moves around a little bit, it's trying to correct something. Maybe it's lost a little bit of grip at the rear, or maybe it's lost a little bit of grip at the front, and it's trying to recover from that, and that's why it moves around a little bit. If you grab hold of the handlebars with a death grip or with solid locked out arms, you're not allowing the bike to do what it needs to do to correct that error. What do you think will happen as a result? Think it'll get better? No, it will start to get worse. Okay. How many of you that have actually gone out and ridden today, how many of you got tired shoulders or tired arms? Any of you? Starting to feel a couple of little bit of aches. There we go. How did he bloody know that? If you've been riding around this morning, even if you've only done 1 or 2 sessions, if you're starting to feel aches and pains in your upper body, it's an indication to you that you are starting to hang onto the bike too tightly. Okay? What we want to allow the bike to do what it needs to do through the turn is to have a completely relaxed upper body. Bad posture is good posture on a bike. Okay? So you want to see arms slumped, back slumped, neck slumped. Okay? So you're kind of like in this sort of position as you're riding around on the bike. Whatever it is, whether it's a setup and leg or whether it's a 999R, it doesn't matter. You need to have relaxed arms, a relaxed back and a relaxed upper body. I'll give you an example of why that's important. If your arms are just relaxed, and let's say you go through Gerrard's, and it's a bit bumpy on a couple of the lines through Gerrard's, and your arms are relaxed, that's good, that's allowing the front end to do what it needs to do. The problem it's creating is with the back end. If your back's like this, ramrod stiff, as the bike goes over a bump, it will feed some of that into you. Right? And the bike wants you to act as a second shock absorber for it. What it can't cope with, it wants you to deal with for it. If your back is like this, as the bike goes over the bump, it gives you some of this force, it'll push you out the seat slightly. Gravity works, you come back down into the seat, you've now created 2 bumps for the bike instead of 1. And it couldn't cope with the first one that it gave you. So that's why it needs you to act like a second shock absorber. So your arms need to be relaxed and your back needs to be relaxed. Does this make sense? Yeah. Okay. What physical signs do you think you might encounter that will tell you that you're too stiff on the bike? From you, not from the bike itself, but from you. Sorry, did I not say I was going to ask you some questions? I'm not just going to give it to you. You've got to work a little bit for it. But what do you think?
Pumped up hands.
Say it again.
Pumped up hands, aching feet, stuff like that.
Yeah. If your hands are aching, and it's a very strange thing with this, with hands gripping the bars too tightly. Most people tend to grip the right hand bar down tight harder than they do the left. So the pins and needles tend to come along in the right hand bar rather than the left hand. I think the reason for that is because the throttle moves. So psychologically you think, oh, that could fall off. You know? Better hold that tighter than the other one. So that's what you tend to do. If you've got tired shoulders, oh, here's my favourite one. I bet there's at least 5 or 6 people suffering from this one. Don't want you to admit it or anything, but how many of you have come from a ride, whether it be a spirited ride on a dry day or whether it be in conditions like this where the traction isn't so good, how many of you come off the bike and found that your jaw aches a little bit? Where you've gone through Gerrard's and you've gone, come on, come on, I will make it! Here's another one for you. How many of you having your visors steam up coming out of a turn? So I'll tell you why that happens. Very, very easy. You hold your breath. Exactly right. You go through the turn, you go, right, Gerrard's, and you go, Steve, oh, where the hell am I going now? It sounds really stupid, but you, one of the things you should check, I mean, particularly here, this is a really good track for it, is as you go around through Gerrard's, are you actually breathing? You know, I swear some of you here are fish and can do an entire lap on one lungful. Right, be relaxed, let the bike do what it needs to do to get through the turn and to correct any losses in traction that it might feel. I'll give you an example for a dry day just to show you that this works all the way through. Have any of you ever had a head shake at all? Yeah? Any of you had a full-blown tank slapper? Yeah, where the bars go from side to side. Yeah. They can get really interesting, they can. You get a real good one and you'll come out the turn and the bars will flap like this, and then you come up to the next turn and you find that the pads are pushed backwards and you go for the brakes and you haven't got any. What do you reckon happens to your tension at that point? Goes back up again, absolutely. But let me ask you this. How do you stop a bike from tank slapping? Well, the answer is a trick question, really. You don't stop it, or you don't even try and stop it from tank slapping. Because if you do, you try and stop those bars from shaking around. The moment you grab hold of those bars, you start transferring that force up your arms, through your shoulders, down through your back, through your bum, through your legs. You now have a bike that instead of just the front end doing that, you've now got a bike where you've connected the front to the rear with your body, and the back end will start to do this as well. And it can end in tears pretty quickly. I've got a nice piece of video footage of a guy on an R1 in a club race at Cadwell. He comes out of the last turn, and this guy's on it. Yeah? You know he's on it because the bike is completely out of shape as he comes out the turn. Yeah? So he comes off the turn and he's driving it hard, the bike's going like this, gets the bike up right onto the straight, spits him off into the grass. And the very instant he leaves the seat, the bike goes up the straight, all of its own, perfectly stable, you know, no worries at all. So where was the problem? Alright? If you want your bike to handle the best it can, the definition of handling is for the bike to be stable. Okay? And you have 4 states. You have a stable rider and a stable bike. That's your goal as the rider. That's what you want to achieve for every single turn. Second state is an unstable bike but a stable rider. That's not too bad because the bike will recover if you let it. Third state is an unstable rider but a stable bike. That can create instability within the bike if you're not stable on it. And then the last one is unstable rider, unstable bike. That's normally followed by the sound of scraping plastic and God knows what else. Alright? So if you want to be relaxed on the bike and keep the bike stable through the turn, what do you think you need to hang on to the bike with? Legs. Yeah. If you come out of a ride session where you've been, let's say you're out on the road, it's a Sunday, you've watched the GP, you just go out for a glass, the coppers pull you over and you say, oh sorry, I was just riding enthusiastically. If you have one of those rides, if you come back from that and you find that your legs are tired or your hips are tired, that's fine, that's good. That shows you're hanging onto the bike with the correct part of your body, and that's the legs. If you come back from that ride and your shoulders are tired, your jaw's aching, your neck's tired, then there's a sign that you're actually hanging off the handlebars. Right? Motorcycles are not designed to have 10, 15, 20 stone hanging off the handlebars as they go through a turn. They don't like it. Right? They like to be able to do what they need to do. So if you ride upright in the seat, it's dead easy. You just pinch the tank with your knees. Try it when you're going through Gerrards. Just pinch the tank with your knees and let your upper body relax. Instantly you'll find the bike will hold a much better line. You'll get much more feedback from it, so you know exactly what it's doing through the turn. If you hang off, same deal. It's if you just push this outside knee into the tank and get that to hold your body weight. So again, you can relax your arms. If you can't relax your arms, then your lower body's not locked in. That's a fact. Alright? So, shall we go and chill out for this next riding session that we've got? All I want to see is, instead of riders, when we're out there, instead of you going into the turns like this, you absolutely hang on to the bars for a death. You want to see your arms bent and relaxed, your body relaxed. Okay? I'll brief Johnny on this as well, but if we go through the session and we see anybody that we feel's a bit too tense, we'll give you one of the hand signals from the school. Okay, the hand signal from the school for seeing too much tension in the upper body is this. Alright? Now let me just make this clear. This is not, you're a chicken, you need to go fast. Alright? The reason we use this is quite simple. If you go through a turn and you can actually move your arms a little bit all the way through the turn, it's a sign that your upper body's relaxed. You can't do this if there's any tension in your upper body at all. You know, even the tiniest bit of tension in your neck will stop you from being able to move your arms. Let them be loose. Alright? Now, let me just make one thing. I don't want to see anybody going through Gerrards like this. It really messes with your throttle control. You might have whiplash by the end of the turn. Alright, so maybe you want to try that. Just do that. If that doesn't appeal, then you just make sure you're breathing through the turn. Make sure you're pinching that tank with your knees and you can let your body drop down and relax them. Does that make sense to you all? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the thing I think you need most today. So, if we're out there and we see some tension in your body, we'll give you this signal, just to get you to relax a little bit more. Okay? Shall we do some more riding then? Hey.
suit, right?
Yeah, 998R.
Yeah, look at the 750. Yeah.